In front of that Journey Loops out of Cape Town and Mortal Man. Well, joining me on the line now is Chloe Homer, who has a very exciting project that she's joining us on the line to chat about. A new non-profit company creating safe spaces in the fight against GBV, gender-based violence. Now, this is all going to be launched coming up on Monday, the 24th of August. And Chloe joins us on the line now. Hello, Chloe. Are you well?
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me. Doing great today. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Lovely to have you here. Now, you and I are kind of, when I say related, no, that's not what I mean. We have crossed paths before because I think my wife did your makeup for your wedding. Am I right?
Yes, she did, and she made me feel so beautiful. You've definitely got a gem there with makeup and in the form of a beautiful woman.
We should see how well I look when she's finished with me. I look fantastic.
I'm sure you do, but I'm sure you don't need much makeup anyway.
Oh, well, thank you. Especially when you're on the radio. Nobody cares what you look like, I suppose. Now, listen, Chloe, we spoke about this briefly last week, and I'm really intrigued to hear about this. Gender-based violence, something that is obviously very much top of mind at the moment. We are fast approaching the end of what has been Women's Month, and particularly here in South Africa, a lot of focus going into all sorts of initiatives and programs to keep people safe, particularly women and children. But tell me about this. What is this safe space all about?
So yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Safe space is really, it's all in the name, and we're about creating safe spaces. We are a non-profit company that's founded by two women, myself and my partner Nikita Del Warrior, both being victims of gender-based violence ourselves at various points in our lives. We have found a need in, I don't want to say the market, but we found a need in the space of gender-based violence that hasn't been completely addressed. We do understand that there's organizations doing amazing work in this space, but what we're setting out to do is potentially game-changing for gender-based violence, and that's, we're on a mission to create safe spaces in society, safe spaces in your home, and safe spaces in your mind. And the website that we'll be launching on Monday, will be going live, is basically a one-stop shop for victims for gender-based violence, where you can access all sorts of resources to create a safe space within your home and within your mind. And then creating safe spaces in society, we are hosting talking events that we've been doing since June. And on the second or Saturday of every month going forward, we are hosting a Chalk It Up event, as we call it. And this last Saturday that we hosted, so on the 8th of August, we hosted one on Stellenbosch University campus in Cape Town, and we also hosted one at the Oriental Plaza in Fordsburg, in Johannesburg. And basically what we did is we took chalk and we were stamping down messages of hope and empowerment for victims of gender-based violence, and essentially reclaiming public spaces. And as people were walking by, they were joining in, grabbing some chalk and writing down some messages as well. So in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. It's safe spaces in your home, in your mind, and society as a whole.
Now, I, for fear of not wanting to in any way sound disrespectful here, we went out for dinner the other evening, and the television was actually on in the restaurant that we went to, and I asked them to switch it off, not specifically because of the content, but just because I find televisions distracting and don't need it in my face while I'm enjoying a meal. But one of the things that was on was this promotion about women equality and women all being equal and protecting women. And do you not find at the moment, and I'm asking this again with the utmost respect, do you not find that this is something that is just now become cliched and completely overridden, this space where, and again, without wanting to appear ignorant, I would have thought that at the moment there are so many avenues and opportunities for women who feel that they are in any way being abused, and I don't for one second excuse it or condone it, but are there surely not enough organizations doing this already? What is it that you are going to be doing differently?
So I completely take on what you say, Paul, and I do appreciate that. I think as women, it's not about campaigns anymore. It's now about taking up the space that you're in and owning it with conviction and owning it with a sense of pride and confidence in yourself. I think so often we find ourselves in spaces where we feel overshadowed, by other women, and even in my workplace, I find women we're tearing each other down. It's not so much about, we can't be blaming men anymore and so much as we can be blaming ourselves. I think that's why we need to be taking ownership for the spaces we're in. And I think what we're doing different, and we've done a lot of research on this, we're doing something different in that we're reclaiming spaces, because a lot of organizations are out there organizing protests, signing petitions, submitting memorandums to government, and unfortunately nothing's getting done. So essentially what our website is going to be, and as far as we're concerned, there's nothing out there like this at the moment. Our website will be a platform where there will be a tab called reporting, where you can go on and report an incident. Unfortunately, in this country, you cannot go to the South African Police Service and report an issue of being catcalled or groped in public, because they just don't substantiate that as being something that is happening or that they have any proof of. So what you can do on our website is you can actually log an incident, whether you've been groped, you've been sexually harassed, verbally harassed, catcalled, anything. You can log that on our website, on our user interactive platform. And the idea essentially is, if I want to go out with my friends on a Saturday night and we want to go out to a certain restaurant, what we're going to do is we want to get to a point where people can go onto our website and look at the safety of areas, and they can say, okay, I want to go to this restaurant, and they search it up on our website, and it'll come up and say, in the last week, there's been 5 incidents reported in this area. So we might then stay clear of that area. So we are creating a level of awareness that nobody out there is creating at the moment, because we just assume that there's certain areas that are no-go zones, but we also forget that it's across all communities, all suburbs, that people can feel unsafe. And that's what our website is doing. It's creating safe spaces for everybody. So you can go onto that website, much like you would go onto Waze before you're about to leave work and check the traffic and check for better routes that you can travel. Our website will very much be like that, where you can say, okay, I want to go out, I want to find the safest and best place to go out where I can feel safe.
Okay, so this is almost going to be, or part of what you're doing is having sort of a mapping application. So I went down to Homestead Lake as a woman on Sunday afternoon. I went down for a nice walk, and I was accosted by a group of guys who'd been enjoying themselves a little bit too much, and they catcalled me or verbally assaulted me or whatever it may have been. I would then, if I've got access to your website, it's a website now, not an app, is that right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we came to realize how expensive this was, but we have found that a website is a lot more accessible to so much people, and we also realized that something that we're going to need to do going forward is we want to get the buy-in and support of network providers to be able to have data-free zones on our website, so that this website will be accessible to anybody in any community, regardless of whether they have access to data or not.
Got you.
It's very simple to access the website, and you can take the website and add it to your home page, much like you would do an app, and create shortcuts on your home screen on your phone. So at the tap of a button, you should be able to open up the website. But we're all about social awareness, and I feel like that's what separates us from what anybody else is doing at the moment.
So you then, to go back to what I was saying, you've had a bad experience somewhere, you hop onto your website, and you would then submit almost like an incident report of what happened and where it was. Is that right?
Exactly. So there's a space to fill in. You're going to, it can pick up on your location. You can fill in your location if you want. You can then, there'll be a drop-down tab where you can select what it was. If there is an other, you can fill that in. You can also give a description of that. And in the description, if you feel that you need further assistance, if you need something to be done about this, it will then come through to our server where we have access to this information. Confidentiality is very important to us. Nobody has access to this information except for us. And we can then try to disseminate where the areas are that are not safe. And once we have this information at our disposal, we can then go back and reclaim these areas through our Chalk It Up events as well.
Fantastic. And I would imagine that your website is going to be linking through to other resources in terms of contact numbers and details and information pertaining to who you could contact if you have experienced, as you're putting it, GBV.
Yes, so we have on our website, there's a resource tab where you can access a list of safe houses that are available in your area. There's also a list of rape crisis centres that you can access should that have been the unfortunate incident that has occurred. There's also a resource of psychological resource numbers. So that's SADAG, that's Lifeline, that's Childline. There's various resources that you can access under our resource tab to get the help that you need, and a lot of 24-hour numbers that we've also provided should you need assistance urgently.
Cool, and very sad, I think, acknowledging the value of something that you're doing, and as you say, you've definitely put a different spin on it to, I think, what a lot of these organizations are doing, but very sad to think that we're living in a country during a time where you cannot contact the local SAPS. You can't pick up the phone and phone them and tell them that you've been a victim of some sort of abuse, as you say, in a space where you don't feel safe. I guess unless you've actually physically been assaulted, it would be something that would be very difficult for you to prove. But it sounds like a wonderful initiative that you've put together with Nikita. I know I was talking to your husband last week, and he was telling me that he's been doing a lot of the back-end development on this whole Safe Space RSA. And that is the website, isn't it? safespacersa.com.
Yes, that's it. And it's definitely been a team effort to get us to this point, just using whatever time and resources we have. We've had a lot of people coming on board wanting to get involved with us. On our website, we also have people that we've partnered with to sell merchandise, where we will, proceeds from the merchandise will be coming back to us, and that's all available on our website. And we're also on Instagram and Facebook, and that's at Safe Space RSA as well. So we're very active on our social media as well, where people can see about our events and also access any support that they may need through our inboxing.
Okie dokes. Lovely. Safe Space. And is that Safe Space RSA on Facebook, Chloe? Or just
Yes,
Safe Space?
Safe Space RSA.
Okay, fabulous. And then aside from your website, which I would imagine does have some contact details, how can people reach you, whether they have a question, perhaps they've been a victim, whether they may like to become involved in some way? What's the best way of doing that?
So the best way, we're always monitoring our email account that we've set up for any general queries. We always have somebody monitoring that, and that's info@safespacersa.com.
info@safespacersa.com. Fantastic.
Yes, and we've also had people inboxing us on Facebook and Instagram, so if people are on that social media platform, they're more than welcome to inbox us, and our turnaround time on responding to people is very quick, so we're able to assist wherever we can.
Fabulous. Faster than the police, I'm sure. Chloe, thank you very much indeed. I tell you what I'd like us to do. I'd like us to keep in touch, and maybe we can actually get you and your partner, if she's up in Joburg at some point, into the studios, because I think a month or two down the line, I would love to hear from you to find out just how active the safespacersa.com website has been, how many people are reporting these incidents and letting you know that they are unfortunately victims, or that they have been victims. And it would be very interesting as well to highlight some of the areas, I think, the hotspots, if we could call it that, where incidents have been reported. I think because aside from the victim side of things and people reporting their incidents and reporting where they've felt unsafe, it would be nice to make that available, obviously, to the general public, which I would imagine you'll also be doing through your social media platforms too, huh?
Absolutely, and we've only scratching the surface here. We realize there's still so much work to do, but I think with everybody working together and using this website as a resource to share information, create social awareness for other people who may be coming to these spaces where they have felt unsafe, I think together we can start to create awareness around gender-based violence, creating safe spaces in our homes, in our minds, and in society. And we'd definitely love to catch up with you in the next month or two. My partner and I are both based up in Joburg, but we also have a team, Megan Haskis and Jess Winsper, that are also working very hard for us in the Western Cape to create awareness for safe space.
Lovely. Well, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, and good on you.
Thanks so much.
I think not only embracing the need here, but doing it in a way where I can understand there is some real value. It's more than just a group of active, passionate people who are saying, let's do a march with a placard, or have a Facebook page. You're actually doing something here that will hopefully make a difference. So thank you very much for joining us on Caxton Radio, Chloe.
Thank you so much for having us, Paul. We do appreciate it.
Cool. We'll be in touch and chat soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Cheers now. Bye. That's Chloe Homer joining us on the line, talking about a new initiative that kicks off and launches officially this coming Monday. The initiative known as Safe Space RSA. You can find out more by getting to their website, safespacersa.com. They're all across the socials as well, Instagram and Facebook at Safe Space RSA. And for more details, pop through an email on info@safespacersa.com. It's the